People that know me will tell you I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal, because it turns around. There's an old saying, lies remain lies no matter how well told. I forget who said it, but it's a quote. Think about it. Go out, do some research for yourself. I'm 60 years old. My days are numbered. Everybody's days are numbered. I'm here doing this for my children and my grandchildren, and that's what you should be doing. Those poor kids that were involved with Kids for Cash, what a travesty. And you know, they talked about the lawyers. Why weren't the lawyers doing anything? Because of that Section 108, was it? The 1.6. Kathleen Kane, why isn't she doing anything? Because her job is to protect the corporation. The police are not here to protect you. They're here to protect the government.
Right.
Okay? I remember as a kid, we had police officers. We had peace officers. Now they're called LEOs, Law Enforcement Officers.
Right.
Look up the history on the state police. They were actually started with the Molly Maguires to protect the corporation. All of these things that are in place were pushed upon us and just left in place by the people who think that they're elite and above us. We're just subjects. We're just peasants. Look at child custody cases. Look at traffic cases. There's no victim. There's no crime. You have to have an injured party or property damage to have any type of a claim. But yet you don't have those in custody issues. You don't have those in traffic citations. They're statutory, man-made crimes to steal your money and your money and your money and give it to the elitists so that they can give it out to people who don't want to work like you and I do to get more votes. And that's all I'm going to say, because I could go on for hours.
I'm going to jump in for a couple of seconds just to invite everybody. We talked about the September the 17th, 1787. That's the day that our Constitution was actually enacted and put into place, and we actually had a Constitution at that time. On September the 17th this year, 2014, we'll all be down, including Andy, be speaking at the Liberty Bell, exactly where the Constitution was signed. We're taking back our country. It's not just us here. We have folks all over the country that are coming together. There is no particular organization that is leading this back. There's an umbrella. There's an umbrella of organizations, or umbrella of religions. There's umbrella of people, umbrella of corporations representing we the people. We're getting to the point where we can actually prove what we the people want. All of these things were put in place. America is still a democracy. When we can prove what we the people want by signatures, we can change America right away. So everybody who's here, we're all on the same page. There's a whole lot of neighbors. There's many neighbors. Our neighbors next door would love to be here if they understood what was going on. It's up to us to go next door and knock on a door. We're putting together a door-to-door campaign so that many of us will go out and help you and assist you. So if anyone is interested in going door-to-door, we will send help. We're not asking you to join us. We want to join you in your efforts to get the word out. I'm going to pass the microphone back on over to Andy Ostrowski. And I also want to thank Andy. I want to thank Andy for being one who stood up and standing out and want to keep on standing out.
Thank you. Thank you, Cedric. Thank you, everyone. I want to, this is not a real structured thing. I mean, I came out here, I'm running for Congress. I wanted to make some statements about the court system, about some reforms that need to happen. But fundamentally, this is about you. So anybody who has a couple words that you want to say and offer your story, I think some people around here are recording this for perpetuity. And, we're going to get these videos up on the internet, and we're going to get this message out. And it starts here. It actually started a couple months ago, For me, it started a couple years ago. But I have met so many courageous people along the way in this thing. And these people who stand in the face of this oppression that we go through in the courts. And, that, like I said, I mean, and Todd set me straight, and he said, we're patriots. And that's really what you people are here today. But you're heroes to me, And this is why I want to do what I want to do and represent you in Congress. One of the heroes that I know personally, a personal friend of mine, and who's been helping me out on the campaign, is standing here to my right, is Diane Goetsch. And I'm going to just turn the microphone over to her and say a few words. And then if anybody, Betsy, I don't know if you have some words you want to say. If you want to come up, then anybody can just come up and grab this microphone then. But I'm going to introduce you all to Diane Goetsch right now.
Hi. I'm from Philly. I say nation of sheep run by wolves. And these judges are breeding another generation. Their kids are going to take over where they are, and they're going to try and do it to our kids. Yep. And that's why we can't give up on this. No matter what happens to you, people that came over here on a boat knew that half of them were going to die to form this country, and they still did it. So I use the number 7, 7-year itch, 7 deadly sins, 7 years of bad luck, 7 years I've been in divorce court. I've gotten nowhere. I've had all my assets taken. I don't like to talk about my divorce because everybody's, here with some kind of legal problem. But everything Terrence was saying about Rule 1.6 is part of the root of it. And I always talk about something called the Article 5, Section 10C, which is put onto the Pennsylvania Constitution, which removed all the oversight of the courts. So no matter what agency you go to, if you go to the United States Attorney, the Philadelphia Attorney, the Judicial Conduct Board, the Judicial Conduct Board, it's supposed to be their jurisdiction, and they are a complete failure, and I've spoken in front of them, and they have done absolutely nothing. After the Kids for Cash scandal, they removed a guy by the name of Massa and put in another chief counsel by the name of Gracie, and he still has done very little. I've seen just, little pieces of things that they're trying to do in the paper, in the Legal Intelligencer. I don't know, you should watch that, because that puts out a lot of the legal happenings that happen, and they just said they're starting to get really tough on judges' demeanor. Well, I don't care about their demeanor. I care if they're following the law. Right. I don't care if they're nasty or anything else, if they're following the law. And none of them are following the law because there's something called discretion, which lets them do whatever they want. There is a Chief Justice in Washington by the name of Scalia who says we need to get back to the letter of the law. And if they were following the laws, there are laws, but the judges, if they don't follow them. There are words in the laws like shall and may, and they need to be replaced with will and must. There was a lot of things, statutes that weren't followed in my divorce. If they'd followed them, I would be divorced by now. I'm still married. There are things that can be done, and they're not being done, so that we have to do it. And I hope people come to Philadelphia, metropolitan area. I've got a big database full of media, thousands of them that I'm going to send out the next notice to, and come down to the Liberty Bell. They need to see us in the metropolitan area, and it will get, hopefully national coverage, because this is not just a Pennsylvania issue. We are number 5 as the most corrupt states in the United States, but every state is like this. There was about 22 other states in 1968 that gave their judicial systems independence from the other 2 branches of government, and that's where our problem lies. There's just no oversight. There's nobody to go to, and there's generations of lawyers that have learned this, and it's going to continue until we get some type of citizens oversight, have panels, get rid of the one-judge system, cameras in the courtrooms. There's a lot of things that can be done.
Yes.
Nothing's been done. Cameras in the courtrooms. There probably are cameras in the courtrooms. They're just not telling you. I'm sure there's cameras in every courtroom, but they're not going to let you see what's on it. They price you out of your transcripts. You can't even get your transcripts. All these things are all leading into it, and they need to see more people in the street. So come to Philadelphia, and I want to also do it in Harrisburg at the Judicial Conduct Board, because they're our biggest problem. That is the only agency that is actually supposed to be taking control of the judiciary, and they're just not doing it. So that's it. I drove 2 hours and never been to Wilkes-Barre before. It's really pretty.
Thank you.
That's what we're going to do. We're here today in Wilkes-Barre for all the reasons that I talked about. Some of the residual problems that are manifest by the symbol of this courthouse behind us, and some unresolved issues where full justice needs to be done. But we're going to keep bringing this, man. We're going to keep bringing this message, and we're going to keep bringing it until people start to listen. and until we start putting people in office who care about these core constitutional principles. And that's what I'm all about. I said to my friend the other day, it's not been a real easy thing getting this campaign going, carrying this message, because people in the mainstream don't want to hear it. But I'll walk around with a pencil and a roll of toilet paper, and I'll write Vote Ostrowski and give your government back to the people if that's what I have to do. Because I'm going to carry this message, and we're just going to keep on bringing it until it gets through. Because these are the core issues that are affecting our democracy. These are the things that need to be addressed. Betsy, I want to offer you an opportunity. Betsy's another woman, if you want to come up, who for years has been trying to bring a message of reform at these basic levels, running as third-party candidate in a number of elections over the years, and is running this year in what district? The 121st, which covers Wilkes-Barre. Is that correct? Okay. And let's help Betsy get her message out. And I'm going to turn the microphone over to her. And again, if anybody else has anything that you want to say here today before we wrap up, feel free to come up and grab the mic and get your message out. And before I turn it over to Betsy, the way we're going to keep doing this is we're going to be working with the American Rebirth Tour, and we're going to be doing it on the streets. But we're going to be appearing down in Harrisburg at the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. I'm going to go to the event on September 17th at the Liberty Bell, and we're going to make the people of this state, people of this district, people of this nation know that these issues need to be addressed. So with that, let me turn it over to Betsy Summers.
So has everybody cooked yet?
Yeah.
I want to thank you all for coming out and being a voice. I'll tell you, sometimes you feel like you're the only person screaming out there.
Right.
And then you come to something like this, and you get to talk to other people, activists, people who they don't care about the consequences. They're going to keep fighting, no matter what our government, no matter what our courts do to them. And you know what? We have to do that because it is for our children, our grandchildren, our future, and our country. So currently I'm gathering signatures so that I can be on the ballot in November against Eddie Day Pashinski. He currently is on the ballot unopposed. Anybody who lives in Wilkes-Barre, Hanover, Ashley, Fairview Township, Laurel Run, you're allowed to sign my petition. So please come on over. I have a petition here, and need about 600 signatures just to be allowed to run. And I'm sure Mr. Pashinski will look for every opportunity to contest my signatures. But until we change what's going on in our state house, what's going on in our Congress, our legislature, there is 150